Hope you all are very well and fine and continue your studies very nicely. Today we are going to start the new chapter number 8, fractions, from your syllabus of annual examination. I'm going to give an elaborate discussion of all the various topics present in this chapter, which will help you to understand the basic concepts and will help you to understand the chapter, as well as will help you to solve the various exercises of your chapter. So the complete explanation on the chapter in a very elaborate manner, in a very proper manner, we are going to discuss in this video. Hope you will watch the video completely, so that the complete discussion with each and every minute discussion is clear to you and will help you to clear the concept, which will help you to solve the exercise of the chapter as well as to clear your concept. Okay, so without stretching the time, let us start with the chapter first. The chapter name itself is fraction, and this chapter is very important, as in the higher classes also you are going to deal with the same chapter very frequently. So this chapter is very important in that sense too. So what is called fraction, students? If I just ask the question to you, define fraction, a very simple definition of fraction, what it would be? Fraction is nothing but fraction is a number which is expressed in the form of numerator and denominator. That means it's actually the representation of any number in the form of numerator and denominator. Like if I represent any number like 5 by 7, so 5 by 7 is also a number which has two parts. Fraction has two parts. The first part above the division sign and the second part below the division sign. The part above the division sign, the upper part, is called numerator, and the part below the division sign is called denominator. So you can see here that 5 is the numerator and 7 is the denominator, and the complete combination of this numerator by denominator is called the fraction. So let us move ahead. This was a very simple definition of fraction. Let us move ahead with the different types of fraction. While dealing with the different kinds of fraction, you will be now coming across many types of fractions. Now it is very important for you to know what are the different kinds of fractions. Basically, there are 6 kinds of fractions. Those are like fraction, unlike fraction, then proper fraction, improper fraction, and then mixed fraction, and the last is unit fraction. Let us have a very elaborate discussion on each of them. The first one is like fraction. What is called like fraction? Like fraction are those fractions which have the same denominator. If the number has the common denominator, the same denominator, we say that the fractions are like fraction. Like it can be 5 by 7, 4 by 7, 3 by 7, and so on. So all these fractions are the same denominator. So it is a like fraction. Next is unlike fraction. What is unlike fraction? Unlike fraction is quite similar. Like if like fraction has the same denominator, unlike fraction will have the fraction with a different denominator. Like it will be 2 by 3, 5 by 7, or 3 by 8, so on. You can see here that all these fractions have different denominators. It has 3 as a denominator, it has 7 as a denominator, and it has 8 as a denominator. All the fractions have different kinds of denominator. So these are said to be unlike fraction. Next is proper fraction. What is proper fraction? Fraction which has numerator lesser than the denominator. Now that means numerator will be lesser than the denominator, and if you convert those fractions into decimals, you will always get 1 or less than 1. So that we called as proper fraction. That is 5 by 7. See you can see here that the fraction 5 by 7, 5 is lesser than 7, or you can say 3 by 7. That is the fraction 3 by 7 is lesser than you can say that 3 is lesser than the denominator 7. So these two fractions, generally you see here that the numerators are lesser than the denominator. Then we say that these are the proper fraction. Next is improper fraction. What is improper fraction? Just opposite of proper fraction. As proper fraction has numerator lesser than denominator, improper fraction will have denominator lesser than the numerator. That means denominator will be less and the numerator will be more. Like it will be 6 by 5 or it will be 8 by 7. You can see here that in both the fractions you see, in this one also you see, the numerator is more, denominator is less. And here you see the numerator again the same similar thing. Numerator is more and the denominator is less. So the fraction which has numerator more than the denominator is called improper fraction. Denominator will be less and numerator will be more. Next one is next fifth number is proper, improper, and the fifth number is mixed fraction. What is mixed fraction? Mixed fraction are the fractions which can be expressed with the help of a whole number and a proper fraction both. So any fraction, if you can express it with the form of whole number as well as the proper fraction, are said to be mixed fraction, like 4 whole 3 by 5 suppose. So here you see that 4 is the whole number and 3 by 5 is a proper fraction. So we will say that this combination of this both whole numbers and proper fraction is a mixed fraction. So it will be equals to it will be 4 whole 3 by 4. Just pronunciation will be, how will be pronouncing it as 4 whole 3 by 5, or you can say like 4 upon 3 by 5. More example can be written as 2 whole 2 by 5. There are many examples. So these are all mixed fractions which can be expressed with the help of whole number as well as with the help of proper fraction. You can see here that 3 by 5 is a proper fraction, 4 is a whole number, similarly 2 is a whole number and 2 by 5 is again the proper fraction. Remember, it should not be improper, it will be proper fraction. And the last one is unit fraction. What is unit fraction, students? Unit fraction is very simple. Fractions which have 1 as a numerator is called unit fraction. So any fraction if you come across with the numerator as 1, so we will say that fraction as unit fraction. Example, 1 by 3, 1 by 2, 1 by 5, 1 by 4, etc. So we see that all these fractions have 1 as a numerator. Okay, so these all fractions are unit fractions. So basically we came across 6 different kinds of fractions, like, unlike, proper, improper, mixed and unit. Now in the next part we will be covering how to convert improper fraction to mixed fraction and vice versa, that is mixed fraction to improper fraction. So this is also very important because there is a very strong relationship between mixed fraction and improper fraction. Both fractions are connected and related with each other. So we will be now understanding how to convert from improper to mixed and the vice versa, that is mixed to improper fraction. Okay, next conversion is, let us first understand mixed to improper. How will we convert a mixed fraction to improper? Suppose, let us take an example for that. Suppose an example of mixed fraction is 4 whole 3 by 5. This 4 is a whole number and this 3 by 5 is a proper fraction. So combination of both is mixed fraction. And we will be now converting this 4 whole 3 by 5 into improper fraction. How will we do that? Listen very carefully, students. These two numbers, that means the number at the whole number and the number at the denominator, these two digits actually, you will multiply. That means you will multiply 4 into 5. Okay, and the numerator part will be added with them. That means plus 3. And the denominator is 5, so we will write denominator at the bottom itself. So so the answer will be, according to BODMAS, we have to multiply first and then we have to add. So it will be 4 5 is 20, 20 plus 3, 23 by 5. So this is my answer. What I say, I repeat. We will be just multiplying the whole number part with the denominator, and along with that I will be adding the numerator, and that will be acting as a numerator of the improper fraction, and the denominator will remain same. That means my answer will be 23 by 5. Let us take one more example. 2 whole 3 by 7. So again the similar process will follow here. This 2 is the whole number part, 7 is the denominator part. We will multiply these two numbers. We will multiply, and along with this we will add. Okay, that it means it will be, we will multiply this and this will be adding. So it will be 2 into 7 plus 3 by the denominator remains same, 7. That means 2 7s are 14 plus 3, 17 by 7 will be my answer. Now I think it's very clear to you that in this way we will be converting a mixed fraction to improper fraction. Now the vice versa. Let us see how to convert from improper to mixed. That means if I have an improper fraction, I want to convert into mixed fraction. That means the converse of this one, which I did here. So we'll be seeing that now here. Let us take an example of improper fraction. Improper fraction example can be like 7 by 4. 7 by 4 is an example of improper fraction. Now if I want to convert this into a, why it is improper? Because numerator is greater than the denominator. Now I want to convert this improper fraction into mixed fraction. So what should I do? Very general method is that we will just normally divide it. We will just divide it. What it will be? 7 divided by 4. It will be 4 ones are 4 and the remainder will be 3. So the process is, when we will be converting into mixed fraction, there are 3 numbers you have to write. One here and one here. This is the format of a mixed fraction. The number at the denominator, that is 4, will remain at the denominator itself. Okay. The number at the quotient will be written in the middle number, that means the whole number part, and the number at the remainder, that is 3, will be written here as the numerator. So the format is, in the between you will write the quotient, okay, and above you will be writing the remainder, and the bottom side you will be writing the divisor. So this process you have to follow. That means first you have to divide it. After dividing it, the quotient, whatever quotient you get, you will be writing it in the whole number part, that is the middle part, and then the remainder whatever you get will be written as the numerator part, that is the above number part, and the divisor, which one is this? The divisor remains same as the fraction, as the denominator here in the fraction will be written at the denominator, that is divisor on the side. So this is the process, students. You have to remember this format. That means any mixed fraction can be converted into, any improper fraction can be converted into mixed fraction using this format. First you need to divide, and then after division you will be getting the quotient. This is the quotient, this is the remainder, and this is obviously the divisor. So in appropriate places you have to place this quotient in the middle side, divisor at the bottom side, that means the remainder denominator side, and the remainder at the uppermost number, that means the numerator side. So in this way you can convert any improper to mixed fraction. So students, in this part we saw that how to convert a mixed fraction into improper and improper into mixed fraction. Now next part we will be covering is the equivalent fraction. Explaining you about the different types of fractions, I did not mention about equivalent because equivalent fraction doesn't falls under the different types of fraction. It's not actually a type of fraction, it's a special property of fraction. I should rather say that. It is not a type of fraction, but it is a special property of fraction, equivalent fraction. What do you mean by equivalent fraction? That is the reason I did not mention equivalent fraction is a type of fraction. Because it is not a type of fraction, it's a special type of fraction. That was the main reason. What is equivalent fraction, students? Now, before discussing on this topic, I'll just give you a simple definition to make you understand what is equivalent fraction. Students, if you have two fractions, suppose if I have a two fraction, 3 by 6, it's a fraction. And if I have one more fraction, suppose 6 by 12. Okay, so this 3 by 6 can be, if I reduce this fraction, it will be 1 by 2. And if I reduce this fraction, it will also be 1 by 2. 6 1 the 6, 6 2 the 12. Ultimately, you can see, student, that in both the fractions, the resultant value, the final value is same. So in this both the fractions, the final value is same. So that is why 3 by 6 and 6 by 12 are called equivalent fractions. So we come to a conclusion that the two fractions are said to be equivalent fractions if their final value is same. If the resultant value is, or final value, anything you can say, is same. So the final value, if you get the same of the two fractions, whatever the fractions are, whatever the numerators and denominators are, doesn't matter. But after converting it into the simplest form, if you get the final value as same, then you can say that the fractions are equivalent fractions. So students, one thing is now very clear to you, that if you are asked to check whether the two different fractions are equivalent or not, you can check that equivalent fractions or not by converting those two fractions into the simplest form, and the value, if the value is same for both the simplest form, then we will say that yes, those two fractions are equivalent fractions. But there is one more alternative method to check the two fractions are equivalent or not. I am going to elaborate both the methods here in the board. Okay, so now we will be understanding students, how we will check whether the two given fractions are equivalent or not. Suppose if we take a two example like 3 by 4 and 6 by 8. Not 6 by 8, let us take 5 by 8. Okay, now process number 1. This is process number 1. Well, it's very quite clear to you, as I mentioned it before itself, that if we will convert both this fraction into simplest form. The first fraction is 3 by 4. Can I convert into simplest form? No, because it's already in the simplest form. Okay. Can I convert 5 by 8 into simplest form? No, because these both are also again in the simplest form itself. If the fraction is already in the simplest form, we cannot convert it. Simplest form, what do you mean by simplest form? Simplest form means just we have to cut it. We have to reduce the fractions up to the maximum level. But here we cannot, because 3 and 4 doesn't have any common factor other than 1. And 5 by 8 also don't have any other common factor other than 1. So it's quite clear that we cannot reduce it further. So these are already in the simplest form, and both are not same actually. So we will say that yes, these are not in the simplest form. These are not the equivalent fraction, as the value is not same. Okay, now come to the process number 2. Okay, I think this will be very easier for you, because here you have to convert it both the fractions into the simplest form. So it may be hectic for you, it may be quite lengthier for you, but in this method it will be very easy. What you will do, you have 3 by 4 and 5 by 8, these two fractions you have. What you will do, you will just multiply 3 by 3 with 8 and this 4 with 5. That means 3 into 8 is 24 and 4 into 5 is 20. You can see here, student, that one is 24, the other is 20, both are not same. So these are not equivalent fraction. Okay, so again I repeat, you will be multiplying this 3 with the numerator of the first fraction with the denominator of the second fraction, that means in cross way, and the denominator of the first fraction with the numerator of the second fraction again in the cross way. And if the values are same, then both are equivalent fractions, and if the value are not same, then those two are not equivalent fractions. Here I am getting the value as 24 and 20. Since they are not same, so these fractions 3 by 4 and 5 by 8 are not equivalent. So this is the process number 2, and very easier process, just you have to multiply in this manner. And here in process number 1, you have to convert both the fractions into simplest fraction, simplest form, and then you have to see whether the result is same or not. Like I took it before, one fraction 3 by 6 and 6 by 12. You can see here 3 12s are 3 into 12 is 36 and 6 into 6 is 36. Both are same, na? So we can say that they are equivalent fractions. And if I go on, this I calculated with the process number 2. But if I go for process number 1, I am converting this both into simplest form. 3 by 6 will be equals to, if I cut it, it will be 1 by 2. Why 1 by 2? Because 3 1 are 3, 3 2 are 6. So it will be 1 by 2. Similarly, 6 by 12 will also be equals to 1 by 2. See, after the simplest form, we see that both the fractions are same. So we can say that yes, both the fractions final value is same. So we can say that yes, they are in the simplest form. That means they are the equivalent fractions. So we can apply any of the process, whether process 1 or process 2, to understand, to know or to check which fractions are equivalent or which fractions are not. So this was an elaborate discussions on equivalent fractions, students. Now we have covered almost most of the part of the chapter. Here we discuss few important discussions about what is called fractions. We saw that fractions can be expressed as numerator, denominator. We also observed that what are the different kinds of fractions. We saw there that there are mainly 6 types of fractions, like, unlike, proper, improper, mixed and unit fractions. And then we observed that how to convert a mixed fraction into improper fraction and an improper fraction into mixed fraction. That was also a very important method. And then we saw here that what is called equivalent fractions. We saw that equivalent fractions are the fractions which have the final value same. Okay, they may not have the numerator and denominator same, but the final and resultant value will always be same. Those two fractions or three fractions or more than that are said to be equivalent fractions. And then we saw that how to check whether the two or three fractions are equivalent or not. We can check the two fractions mainly, not three. We can check the two fractions as equivalent, like in this method, cross multiplication method, and the other is converting into simplest form method. So these are the basically we have gone through and will help you to solve the first, second, I hope so, first, second, it will help you to solve rather first and second exercise very easily, students. Now the next part of the this explanation will be given to you later on. Thank you. So students, in this way we have come to an end of the explanation video of this chapter part 1. After this we will be going through the part 2, which is the last part of the explanation video for this chapter. The remaining portion of this chapter we will be covering in that video. So students, with the hope that you have all understood the concepts, you have all understood the discussions of today's, you have all went through the each and every topic of the explanation video very nicely, which would help you to solve the exercise of your chapter very nicely. So students, with this hope I end up my video here. Thank you.